These 4 itchy places on the elderly's body indicate that their lifespan is not long. Hey there, let me ask you a question. Have you ever noticed your grandma or grandpa scratching the same spot on their body over and over again? Maybe it's their back, their feet, or even their scalp. And each time you might think, oh, it's just part of getting old, or they're probably just uncomfortable. But here's the thing. What if those itchy spots are trying to tell us something more serious? Something that we really shouldn't ignore? Could something as simple as itching actually be a warning sign that your elderly loved one's health is at risk? Now, don't panic. This isn't about scaring you, but I do want to get your attention, because these itchy spots could be linked to serious health conditions that might affect your loved one's lifespan. If we catch them early enough, lives can be saved, and your family can get the care they deserve before it's too late. It might sound crazy, but believe me, those seemingly small itches might just be the body's way of saying, I need help. In today's video, we're going to explore 4 itchy spots on the elderly body that could be telling us something about their health. Signs that, if ignored, might shorten their life. So, if you care about your grandparents, your parents, or anyone in your life who's getting older, stick around. You might just learn something that could change everything. Chapter 1. Why itching could be a silent warning. Now, before we dive into those specific itchy spots, let's first understand why itching even happens, especially as we age. When we're young, our skin is usually smooth, soft, and naturally keeps itself moisturized. But as we get older, things start to change. Our skin thins. The oils that normally keep our skin hydrated start to decrease, and the overall elasticity just isn't what it used to be. This means that as we age, dry, irritated skin becomes more common, leading to itching. But here's the catch. While some of that scratching is totally normal and just a sign of aging, there are other times when it's your body sending you a signal that something's off. Something deeper is going on under the surface. And this is where things get interesting, or even a little scary. You see, persistent itching, especially in certain areas, might not just be about dry skin. It could actually be a sign of underlying health problems. We're talking about things like liver disease, kidney issues, or even heart disease. Yeah, it sounds dramatic, but it's important to be aware of these signs. So let's look at the 4 most common itchy spots on the elderly body and what they could be trying to tell us. Chapter 2. The 4 itchy places and what they might mean. 1. Persistent itching on the back, especially between the shoulder blades. Let's start with a spot many people overlook. The back, particularly the area between the shoulder blades. Now, we all know how difficult it is for older people to reach that part of their body, right? So when they complain of itching there, it's easy to dismiss it. But persistent itching in this area can actually be a big red flag. It might sound strange, but this could be an early sign of liver disease, such as cirrhosis or hepatitis. You see, when the liver isn't functioning properly, toxins build up in the body, and the skin reacts by getting itchy. That's why it's common to feel it on the back, because that's where the body holds on to toxins. And it's not just liver issues. Kidney disease can also cause this kind of itching, especially when kidney failure sets in. What's crazy is that some people don't realize they have kidney problems until it's too late, and by then, the damage can be significant. In some cases, it can even be nerve damage caused by long-term diabetes. You may have heard of diabetic neuropathy, right? Well, this can also lead to those stubborn, uncomfortable itches between the shoulder blades. But let me tell you a story. I know a lady who went months without addressing the itching between her shoulder blades. She thought it was just dry skin, or maybe just part of getting older. But when she finally saw a doctor, it turned out to be early-stage kidney failure. Thankfully, with some changes in her diet and treatment, she got better. But it could have been worse if she had waited any longer. So don't brush off those persistent itches. They might not just be annoying, they could be your body's way of begging for help. 2. Itchy palms and feet. Now this next one is a bit more obvious but often misunderstood. We've all heard people say things like, "Oh, if your palms itch, it means you're about to come into some money." Well, that's a fun little superstition, but the truth is, itchy palms and feet could be telling you something much more important. These areas of your body are extremely sensitive, and if you're itching there regularly, it's a warning sign you shouldn't ignore. First off, this could be linked to diabetes, a disease that affects the nerves and circulation in your hands and feet. It's called peripheral neuropathy, and it causes itching, tingling, and even pain in those areas. If you or your loved one have diabetes, this is something to keep an eye on. But it doesn't stop there. Cholestasis, which is a condition where bile builds up in your liver and doesn't get processed properly, can also cause this kind of itching. The bile salts that build up cause your skin to itch, particularly on the palms and feet. This is a serious condition, and if left unchecked, it could lead to gallbladder problems or even liver failure. Again, it's important not to just dismiss this as dry skin. These persistent itches might be a sign that something much bigger is going on inside the body. 3. Itchy, dry, or flaky skin on the shins. Next up, let's talk about a spot that many elderly people experience itching: the shins. Itchy, dry, flaky skin on the lower legs isn't just a sign of winter dryness or a bad lotion job. If this becomes a persistent problem, it could be an indication of something much more serious: poor circulation, especially when it's associated with heart disease. As we age, our circulatory system doesn't work as efficiently, and the blood flow to the lower extremities slows down. This can lead to dryness, flakiness, and itching because the skin isn't getting the nutrients and oxygen it needs to stay healthy. But that's not all. Malnutrition, particularly deficiencies in vitamins like vitamin B12, vitamin C, or vitamin E, can cause the skin on your shins to become irritated and flaky. This is especially true if your loved one isn't eating a well-balanced diet. The body needs those key vitamins to repair and maintain healthy skin, and when it doesn't get them, the skin can start to react in strange ways, like itching and drying out. And in some cases, diabetes can also play a role in this itching, as the disease can affect skin health as well. I want to share a story that really hit home for me. There was this elderly man, a close friend of my family, who had been complaining about itchy legs for months. He was always telling us how his shins were so dry and flaky, but we thought it was just a sign of aging. He brushed it off, saying he didn't have time to deal with it. But one day, after a lot of convincing, he went to see a doctor. Turns out, his legs weren't just dry. They were showing signs of poor circulation due to heart disease. Thankfully, with proper treatment and some lifestyle changes, he's doing much better now. But think about it. If we hadn't paid attention to those itchy shins, who knows how much longer he would have ignored it. So let me ask you, are you or someone you know ignoring those dry, flaky shins? It's not just about lotion. It's about circulation and overall health. Don't wait for things to get worse. Take action today. 4. Severe scalp. Itching with hair thinning. Now this one might hit a little close to home for some of you, especially if you or a loved one have noticed some serious scalp itching, combined with hair thinning. First of all, let's be clear. Hair loss is common with age. We get it. But when you add severe itching to the mix, it could be a sign of something more concerning. One possible cause is hormonal imbalances, especially in women after menopause. But it goes deeper than that. Autoimmune diseases, like lupus, can also cause inflammation in the scalp that leads to itching and thinning hair. The body attacks its own tissues, and the scalp is one of the most sensitive areas to be affected. But perhaps one of the most alarming causes of scalp itching and hair thinning in the elderly is early-stage neurological conditions, such as Parkinson's disease. The connection between neurological disorders and scalp itching is still being studied, but what's clear is that the brain plays a huge role in regulating our skin, and when something's wrong, the skin feels it. I know this might sound pretty overwhelming, but here's the thing. Scalp issues like itching and hair thinning aren't just cosmetic problems. They can be warning signs that a much deeper health issue is developing. And if caught early, It can make a huge difference in the overall quality of life and treatment options. Let me tell you about someone who went through this. There was a woman I knew who started losing hair rapidly. She thought it was just a part of getting older, and she didn't think much of the constant itching on her scalp. But when she finally went to a doctor, it turned out to be early-stage Parkinson's. By catching it early, they were able to help her manage the symptoms much better than if she had ignored it longer. That's why I'm telling you, pay attention to scalp itching. It could be trying to tell you something important. Chapter 4. What you can do to help your elderly loved ones. All right, now that we've covered those 4 specific itchy spots and what they might mean, let's take a step back and talk about what you can actually do to help your elderly loved ones. The truth is, many times, we don't notice the signs until it's too late. But by being proactive and staying aware, we can make a real difference in the health and well-being of our parents, grandparents, or elderly friends. First, regular health checkups are crucial. Even if they seem perfectly fine, a checkup can reveal hidden issues early on. If you notice that someone is scratching excessively, especially in those areas we talked about today, don't wait for them to bring it up. Take the initiative and encourage them to see a doctor. Trust me, you don't want to regret ignoring it later. Next, encourage healthy habits. Good hydration, a balanced diet, and regular physical activity are key in keeping the skin and body healthy. Sometimes, it's as simple as getting them to drink more water, use better skincare products, or add more nutrients to their meals. These things make a big difference in keeping those irritating itches at bay. And finally, be there for them. Sometimes elderly people don't want to bother anyone with their concerns, thinking it's just part of aging. But you know better now, don't you? Take their concerns seriously. Whether it's offering to help with a doctor's appointment or just making sure they feel heard, your support can make all the difference. We all want to live longer and healthier lives, and the elderly aren't any different. If we can catch these signs early, we might just be able to help them live a lot longer and happier. Chapter 5. Debunking myths and encouraging action. Before we wrap up, I want to clear up some common myths about itching and get you to think about it in a way that's not just about skin-deep problems, but something more. You see, there are a lot of misconceptions out there, and it's time we set the record straight. Myth 1. Itching is just part of getting old. Reality. It's true that our skin changes as we age, but persistent itching is never something to just brush off as a normal part of getting old. Sure, dry skin can happen, but constant itching, especially in certain areas like the back, palms, shins, or scalp, could signal underlying health problems, like liver disease, kidney failure, or poor circulation. Ignoring these itches could prevent you from catching serious conditions early on. And trust me, the earlier you act, the better the outcomes. Myth 2. A little scratching never hurt anyone. Reality. If it's occasional, sure, a little scratching here and there won't do much harm, but persistent itching that doesn't go away and causes visible skin irritation can lead to complications, including skin infections and scarring. And remember, it could be your body alerting you to something much more serious beneath the surface. Don't ignore it just because you're used to it. Myth 3. If there's no rash, it's not a big deal. Reality. This is one of the biggest misconceptions about itching. Not all itches are accompanied by rashes. In fact, conditions like liver disease, kidney problems, and even neurological disorders can cause itching without any visible rash. If the itch is persistent and you can't find an obvious reason, like an insect bite or dry skin, it's worth seeing a doctor for a checkup. It could be your body's way of signaling a problem that you can't see. So, the next time you or someone you care about is scratching away, don't just chalk it up to getting old or nothing to worry about. It's time to take action. These myths can hold us back from taking the necessary steps. So let's face the reality. Itching can mean something serious, and you shouldn't wait around to find out the hard way. Conclusion. Your next steps to care. We've covered a lot of ground today, from persistent itching on the back, palms, shins, and scalp, To understanding the deeper reasons behind those pesky itches, I hope this video has opened your eyes to the fact that itching in the elderly is often more than just an inconvenience. It could be a warning sign that shouldn't be ignored. So, what can you do right now? First and foremost, pay attention to the elderly people in your life. If you notice them scratching persistently in any of those areas we talked about, it's time to take action. Encourage them to see a doctor. Sometimes they might brush it off or think it's nothing, but you know better now, don't you? Those little itches could mean more than just dry skin. They could be the body telling them, hey, something's wrong. Second, take proactive care. Help them with a daily skincare routine. Moisturize, hydrate, and make sure they're eating well. A healthy diet can go a long way in preventing skin problems. Even simple lifestyle changes like increased physical activity can help improve circulation and reduce itching caused by poor blood flow. Don't wait until it's too late to make these changes. Finally, be their advocate. Older generations often try to downplay their health issues, but if you see something concerning, don't let them dismiss it. Be gentle, but firm in encouraging them to get help. Whether it's scheduling an appointment or going with them to the doctor, you can make a difference. Here's the bottom line. Itching is not just an annoying inconvenience. If it's happening persistently in certain areas, it could signal something much more serious. Don't ignore it. Don't wait. Take action and ensure that your elderly loved ones get the care they deserve. It could mean the difference between a longer, healthier life and something more serious down the line. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you found this helpful, don't forget to share it with others who might need to hear this message. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, because we've got a lot more important and helpful health tips coming your way. And remember, stay aware, stay caring, and always put your health first. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other. See you in the next video.